So hello, here's another musings slash unboxing video from my end. The other day I came across a format and I did a little bit of research on it that I'd never heard of anything before, and it's the so-called cube format. Now, if you are a veteran, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you are like me, then you don't know what I'm talking about. So I will explain it in a couple of words. It is always, or it's been something that people have been doing for a good while, and that is to use booster packs in draft. Either basically you take the booster packs and they go around the table and everybody takes one card from the booster that they are given and then they pass it on to the next person, or you give a couple of boosters to each person and they just basically take those boosters, open them, and then construct decks from them to play in a booster challenge. Now, a cube works similarly to this draft mechanism. The difference is that you don't have sealed boosters that you crack open and then either pass them around or just give a couple of boosters to each person, and whatever they get they have to use, in addition to lands that are in free supply, obviously. In a cube, you put the booster idea together. So you choose cards, and most people say that a cube is a singleton format. So it means every single card only exists the once, although I've also seen card lists for cubes, for themed cubes, where a couple of cards were in there a couple of times and they weren't lands. And considering that we've got a huge Innistrad collection, we've decided to build a cube for Innistrad. Considering that, I mean, usually you could cater up to any amount of players, depending on the number of cards that you have. So the more players you want to invite to the draw, or the draft rather, the more cards you need. But we're going to go with a 300 card cube, so 60 cards from each of the 5 colors, plus colorless cards. And I'm also going to throw in multicolored cards for good measure, which will not be part of the cube per se, so you wouldn't be drafting from them, but they will be on display if somebody decides that they want to have something in addition, because we do have quite a lot of multicolored cards. But even having said this, while we have enough for, well, almost enough for red and black, we don't have enough for white and green and blue. So, since I now have this deck builders toolkit for Shadows over Innistrad, I'm hoping to get more white and green and blue cards to put into the cube. So now this one came out in 2016, so I've noted the date here. And again, I'm expecting to find 125 semi-randomized cards, so it's going to be a little bit like Patron-only. 415 card booster packs from recent Magic the Gathering sets, so at least one of them should be from Shadows over Innistrad, 100 basic lands, and Deck Builder's Guide to Building the Best Magic Decks, and Magic Rules reference cards, and 1 full art reusable card storage box. Now, I'm interested in seeing if it's full art, because the one from Patron-only was simply just, it didn't have any art at all, it just had the spark symbol. It's still nice and it's serviceable, but we're gonna see what this is like. So I'm really looking forward to this. I also got 2 more of these yesterday in the mail from a company in Denmark, and I'm going to link them below. So I got the 2012 and the 2013 deck builders toolkits, because as I've said, so 2014 core set, so it came out in 2013, and this is Magic the Gathering, simply, you know, no more information, and that's 2012. And of course, again, I'm doing this because I'm collecting older cards as well. I've also got some exciting stuff for Kaldheim simply because I really am into Norse mythology, and I've also managed to get the Khans of Tarkir, I want to say, bundle. So rather eclectic, but that's the Vorthos in me. And I would also like to point out that there are a couple of lovely channels for MTG art and, you know, all kinds of interesting topics being covered. One of them is Mana Critics. I'm going to link them, and the other one is Ristic Studies, and also I'm going to link him. And I recommend you check them out if you are also into, the more whimsical side of magic. So let's see. I really like the artwork, and the story behind this is, so this is Midnight Hunt Crimson Vow is the, I want to say, third installment in the Innistrad cycle. So the first one was Innistrad. Then came Shadows over Innistrad, which is influenced by the story by H.P. Lovecraft, Shadows over Innsmouth. And it brings the Eldrazi to Innistrad. And there may be a fourth one even that I've just come across, and there may be something called Avacyn Restored, which also is set in Innistrad, but I know nothing about the set. I checked it out even today. It's so expensive. I'm not even gonna, I mean, you get a booster for 40 euros. I'm not gonna pay 40 euros for 15 cards. It's not gonna happen. And apparently there's going to be an Innistrad Remastered coming out in 2025 that I have zero interest in, because I'm also done with Innistrad with regard to collecting once I've unboxed this. So let's see. Push this out. Ah, yes, it's a full, well, kind of sort of full art. I'm not sure if I would call this full art. I would have expected the guy on it, but nope. But it's a serviceable box again. And just like the last time, we have some, we have the cards. Gonna look at these. We have the information on how to build decks. And interestingly enough, they didn't give us the little quick reference guide that we got the last time. Let's see, we've got the 5 colors again. This time, of course, it is Innistrad themed. Although, is it? Yeah, so basically you've got the wheel again, the pie again. Here is Jace. And here you've got the guy. Sort your cards, find your key cards, look through your sorted cards and find something awesome that you want to build a deck around. Maybe you've got an enormous dragon or a bunch of creatures that will play together well, or a game-winning combo. So they explain to you how to actually do it. You sort your cards according to, you open everything, you sort your cards according to color. Oh, here we are. Sorry, I misspoke. There's the rules reference card. Sort your cards by color. They each get their own pile. Then explore your options. Read through the rest of your cards and start thinking about what your deck will do. Start separating the creatures from the other cards in your colors. Try to limit the number of colors you're considering for your decks. With 2 colors, you're more likely to get the right mana to cast your spells. With only 1 color, your deck will be even more consistent, but every color has its weakness. I did watch a couple of mono red matches, and I was well, or at least one person playing a mono red deck, and that is so me. And then basically it goes into, yeah, it also tells you may not have enough cards for or basic lands yet to build a mono-colored deck, considering this is what you're getting. With 3 or more colors, you can play more of your most powerful cards, but you increase your risk of drawing the wrong combination of lands and spells. So they're basically talking about simple probabilities here. Watch for creatures that have a high power ability relative to their mana cost, or abilities that make them difficult for your opponent to block or destroy. Cards that can deal with your opponent's creatures or other resources, etc. Step 4, focus your deck. Most good decks tell a story. If you can explain what your deck will do in a sentence or two, then you're ready to start putting your cards together. I like that advice, actually. That's a very interesting way of explaining this. You'll find some suggestions on the other side of this page, but you can build a deck around just about any idea. Once you've got a theme, pull out the cards from your collection that might belong to your deck. Yeah. Add your lands. Most Magic decks have about 24 lands. Very fast decks might run as few as 21 lands, and slower controlling decks might have 27. But 24 is a smart number to stick to until you have a sense of what your deck needs. Then they talk about non-basic lands to see which of them belong in your deck. Non-basic lands that produce multiple colors your deck needs should almost always be included. Evolving Wilds is useful in a deck with 2 or more colors because it can fetch any basic land card, giving you whatever color you're missing. It should have at least 60 cards, the final deck, and no more than 4 of any card other than basic lands. There's no maximum deck size, but it's a good idea to trim your deck down to 60 cards and then play and refine your deck. And again, this is something where we are very different, my partner in crime and myself, because I'm basically trained on LCGs where you want to have 4 copies each of each card if it's a good card because of removal. But she likes options, so she usually will only have 2 of each. I'm also somebody who's happy to play multicolored, not just 2, when she's like, no, that's terrible, don't do that. So it's very interesting because it means that we have very different play styles. So let's take a look at the boosters they have given us. So we've got Shadows over Innistrad twice, and Battle for Zendikar also twice. So, as you know, I'm a fan of lands, so let's take a look at the land deck first. There are no full art lands in this one, I believe, which is fair enough. But still, different lands, which of course will go into my binder again, and we're going to zoom in so that we can share the art and look at it, because I think this is, in my opinion, something that is a reason why I love Magic so much. So this is a basic land, mountain. So of course, you know, for those of you who don't know anything about Innistrad, Innistrad is kind of like a northern European setting where it's quite cold. And if you go to Mana Critics, they have a very interesting piece on the fashion of Innistrad, where they basically highlight what the different types of people wear based on if they're mortals or immortals, and they also tie it very clearly to the landscape this is set in. So here you've got like this village kind of thing. So this is, if you've played Strahd, Curse of Strahd in D&D, this is like Barovia, or it's like, you know, the place where Dracula used to live. So basically Transylvania. Only it's a lot bigger, because Transylvania, of course, is a very small place and it's landlocked. But in Innistrad, the plain is very big. You've got seas, you've got the ocean. There are also some seafaring monsters in there. Then we've got a forest, very evocative. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 different types of forest. And apparently this thing here, this thing, it looks like an anvil, plays an important part in the story. And I am very happy to say that I just received an email saying that my The Art of Magic Innistrad book is in the mail, and I will be getting it on Monday, which is tomorrow. Then we've got the plains again. Again, we see this anvil type rock or whatever it is. Another plains, very nice with the dark clouds on the horizon. And here, this is very nice, you know, you see when you have like, and this is something that you will see in Ireland a lot, everything is dark and then the clouds break. This is very evocative of Ireland actually as well. And then the clouds break open in just one small space and then the sun comes through. It's beautiful. Island again, a lighthouse. Like I said, it isn't landlocked like Transylvania or Barovia for that matter, but it's on the sea, or parts of it is on the sea. Then again, this anvil-like thing, so a mountain, river, and then quite a tranquil, lovely lake and a lake town. Okay, now this is me, the swamps. This guy broke down with his cart in the swamp. He's never going to get out. Very nice. Ooh, I love this. This swamp is more like a submerged or already subsiding graveyard. And here you've got the signs of Avacyn. This symbol here is the goddess Avacyn, the symbol of the goddess Avacyn. And here we've got, again, a very dark swamp, and again the symbol of this, the anvil. And then we've got the mountains, and here you can see, like, you know, a little let's zoom out a little. Here you can see the this is more like a building on top of a mountain. So a mountain path. Incredible. I mean, just look at the art. And then we have the again, and then they just repeat, but really beautiful. I really love them. So this is now already my collection. This will go into my binder, and the rest of course will go into my play sets, because you can never have enough lands. There's nothing else in there. It's the basic lands. Okay, yeah. So just to make sure. Then we've got additional lands. So these are the lands that they were talking about, the multicolor, the special lands. And again, you can only have up to 4 of each of these named lands in your deck. Whereas, of course, you could have, if you were playing red mono, you could have 24 red mana if you wanted to. Come on. Open up. Here we are. Unknown Shores. This is not, and of course these are not necessarily from Innistrad, and you can also tell that this is, I don't know what this symbol stands for, but this is more like, you know, some green molten something or other coming down. Okay, so this adds a neutral mana to your mana pool. Okay, and here we are. So this is a Reckless Bushwhacker. It's a Goblin Warrior ally. And it gets cheaper if you or a teammate has already cast a spell. It has haste, so it means it can attack. It doesn't have summoning sickness. It can attack on the same turn that it's cast. When Reckless Bushwhacker enters the battlefield, if its surge cost was paid and other creatures you control, then other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until the end of turn. Very nice. Pour over the pages. Now this is Innistrad. You can tell by the symbol. Draw 3 cards, untap up to 2 lands, then discard it. Ooh! You pay 3 + 2, and then you get to draw 3 cards, you untap up to 2 lands, and then discard a card. So you effectively only pay 3 for this, because you get to untap 2. Okay. Rise from the Tides, 5/1, expensive sorcery. Put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, tapped for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. Cool. Geist Blast, instant. Geist Blast deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Super. These are all going to go into the cube. Anticipate, instant. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Cloud Manta. Flying. It's a fish, a flying fish for 3/2. Slip through space. Sorcery. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Draw a card. Okay. Expedite. We've seen this before. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Draw a card. We saw this in the Amonchet version. Pyre Hound. Very nice. Elemental Hound. Trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on your Pyre Hound. Sanguinary Mage. Vampire Wizard. Prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Very nice. So you want to play, I don't know, some sorcery, and then she gets +1/+1. So basically, and whenever. So this is not just something that happens once a turn, but if you play a couple of non-creature spells, she gets a +1/+1 each time until the end of turn. So you basically can buff her and then just attack. Unknown Shores again. Okay, so this is again the separator, because this is now the pack where they give you the 10 cards that will actually constitute a possible combo. So this is the red-blue one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cards. So that's the red-blue combo that they're teaching you. Now we've got a black creature vampire, carrier thrall. Whenever carrier thrall dies, put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion creature token onto the battlefield. It has sacrificed this creature, add 1 mana of any color to your pool. Vampiric Rites. Sacrifice a creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Okay. Oh, it's a black-green one. Rot Shambler, fungus. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Rot Shambler. This one will go to my partner in crime because she loves fungus. She loves playing with them. It's an elemental. It has reach. It's a Seed Guardian. When Seed Guardian dies, put an XX green elemental creature token onto the battlefield, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Wow. Bone Splinters, sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Bone Splinters, sacrifice a creature. Destroy target creature. I mean, that's a powerful spell. Voracious Null. Sacrifice another creature. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on Voracious Null. Activate this ability only any time you could cast a sorcery. Okay, so it's not something you could do when you're in your opponent's attack phase. Plummet. This is also in a different art style, one that you will find in Innistrad very often. Destroy a target creature with flying. Pulse of Murasa. Return target creature or land card from a graveyard to its owner's hand. You gain 6 life. Whoa. Vines of the Recluse. We've seen this before as well in the Amonkhet one. Ghoulcaller's Accomplice. It's a creature human rogue. You can exile this card and play and pay 3 and 1. You can exile it from your graveyard and you get a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Activate this ability only. Okay. Unknown Shores again. So this is now this was the black-green combo suggestion. Now we get to the white ones. It's an Angel of Renewal. Flying. When Angel of Renewal enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature you control. Oh, it's a white-blue combo that they're suggesting. Dampening Pulse. Creatures your opponent controls gets -0/-1. And mind you, you could also put these, or I would also consider putting these into the Innistrad pool, into the Innistrad queue, because they are kind of, although they come from a different expansion, they are kind of neutral. You could imagine this working there as well. Besides, the art is probably Eldrazi. Blighted Step. That's a land. Okay, we're going to put this to the side. Add 1 to your mana pool. Sacrifice Blighted Step. You gain 2. Okay. It's a land. And you get to add 1 of any kind. So basically I put the lands to the side. Reflection Mage, Human Wizard, multicolored. When Reflector Mage enters the battlefield, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Whoopsie! That creature's owner can't cast spells with the same name as that creature until your next turn. Okay, so you ask them to remove it, and then they cannot actually replay it the next time. Felidar Cub. It's a cat beast. 2/2, and if you sacrifice it, you can destroy a target enchantment. Gideon's Reproach. instant. Gideon's Reproach deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. That goes into the cube because it's powerful. And it's not expensive. So basically it's an instant that you can play when I'm attacking you. You can play this and actually just deal 4 damage to my target attacking or blocking creature. Core Sky Climber. It's a core soldier ally. Okay. Dispel. Counter target instant spell goes into the blue deck. Storm Rider Spirit. Flash. You may cast this spell anytime. This one also exists in the Innistrad version that I have. And I have to check if it's the same, I mean how they define same card, because if it's got the same name, it may be that it would be excluded. But then again, it's a casual thing and we're only going to be using the cube for ourselves. Tightening Coils, Enchantment Aura, Enchant Creature. Enchanted creature gets -6/-0 and loses flying. Okay. Unknown Shores again. So this was the blue and white combo that they suggest, or where they give you hints as this is how you could combine them. And now we've got a blue card. It's a Merfolk Wizard with flying, which I find interesting, because Merfolk I would associate with actually swimming. Wind Rider Patrol. Whenever Wind Rider Patrol deals combat damage to a player, scry 2. And that would happen if, for example, since it's flying, and if you don't have anybody who can do flying or gets reach, they would automatically get to the other player, and then you can scry 2. Scrying means you get to look at X number of cards. Blighted Cataract. It again gives you a mana of any color to your color pool. And again, it goes to the side. Pale Rider Trostad. So this is a black suggested combo. Oh, I mean, just look at this Pale Rider of Trostad. Just look. I mean, it's interesting because there is a story called Der Schimmelreiter, and it's not a horror story, but it also deals with a pale rider because, well, he's not pale, but he's got a pale horse, and this is what this reminds me of, and it's actually set in the place in Germany where I live now, in the north. Skulk. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. That's interesting. So power is actually the first of these 2 numbers in here, so if it's like a very strong one, 4/3 for example, it couldn't block this. When Pale Rider of Trostad enters the battlefield, discard a card. So basically, it's cheap to play, one and 1 black, but you have to pay for it. What's worse than being alone on the moors at night? Try not being alone. Nadila Mars, Moor Chaplain. Okay. Sinister Concoction. It's an enchantment. So you pay 1 black, and then you pay 1 life and pay 1 black mana, and then you put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. You discard a card and then sacrifice Sinister Concoction to destroy a target creature. Now you really want to think about this. So this would be a last-ditch effort. And it's also not an instant. So you can't do this when you're being attacked, but it's something that you have to play not during the combat step. Coral, I don't even know if I would put this into the cube because I don't think I would ever play it or anybody would ever play it because it's very expensive. Unless, of course, you're being faced with something. I mean, it does destroy the target creature regardless of what that target creature is. Coral Helm Guide, Merfolk Scout Ally. Those Merfolk are really not what I would expect Merfolk to do. They're always walking around on land and flying. Okay. Negate, instant, counter target non-creature spell. That goes into the Corpse Churn. Put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Nice card draw mechanic for black. Furtive Homunculus. Skulk. This creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. In terms of intelligence, homunculi are somewhere between humans and scabs, clever enough to follow more complex orders, but dim enough to not question them. Dead weight, enchanted creature gets -2/-2, and sanitarium, skeleton, It's a 1/2, it's very cheap, and you can pay 2 and 1. Return Sanitarium skeleton from your graveyard to your hand. His mind was lost long before his flesh. So again, I'm very happy about this because we will put all of this into, maybe not the black ones because the black ones are pretty much done. My black part of the cube is done. I can still use some of these. Okay, so it gets more. So we've got more land here, do we? Let's see. And of course, these are not random. So if you go onto the MTG wiki, you can read what kind of cards will be in here, in this box. Crumbling Vestige, it's land, enters the battlefield tapped. When Crumbling Vestige enters the battlefield, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and you can tap it to get colorless mana. Cinder Barrens. Cinder Barrens enters tapped, you get black or red, that's my kind of thing. Meandering River, white or blue. Submerged Boneyard, oh, look at the art. Also, I've got thalassophobia, so for me this is actually something that gives me the creeps, but it's great. Blue and black. Timber Gorge, red and green. Tranquil Expanse, green and white. Forsaken Sanctuary, white and black. I mean, look at this, isn't it beautiful? I mean, seriously, the art is beautiful. Foul Orchard, black and green. Highland Lake, blue and red. Stone Quarry, red and white. Woodland Stream, green or blue. And then we've got the basic lands again. So we've got more than enough of those. So that's very important because, of course, when you build a cube, or basically, especially when you build a cube, we want people to be able to mix and match. And then we need these multicolored lands. They go here. Then Aegis Angel from 16, flying, white. Flying, this creature can't be blocked except by a creature with flying or reach. When Aegis Angel enters the battlefield, another target permanent gains indestructible for as long as you control Aegis Angel. Effects that say destroyed don't destroy it. A creature with indestructible can't be destroyed by damage. So it can attack, because attack's always simultaneous, but you also can't use the other spell that we were talking about to destroy it. Sphinx of Mogosi, flying. Nightmare, horse, flying. Shivan Dragon, flying. Soul of the Harvest, it's a creature elemental. Serra Angel. So I'm not going to discuss every single card of those, it's just more about looking at the Stasis Snare, that looks very Eldrazi. Marked by Honor. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has Vigilance. Now Vigilance means that when you attack, you don't have to tap. Angelic Gift, another aura. Cliffside Lookout. Gideon's Reproach. Inspired Charge. Coarse Guy Climber. Stern Constable. That's very Innistrad, the hat that he's wearing is very Innistrad. Unruly Mob, that's something that exists in the modern one as well. So in the most recent version of it, we're going to put it to the side because this will just go into the Creature Elemental Air Servant. Pore over the pages. Draw 3 cards, untap. We saw this already. Disperse. Anticipate, Scrying, Dispel, Negate, we saw these before, Sweep Away, return target creature to its owner's hand. If that creature is attacking you, you may put it on top of its owner's library instead. So you play this when somebody's attacking you. Very powerful indeed. Nebulous of Dusk. Creature spirit flying now. This is an incredibly beautiful card. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1. Pieces of the puzzle. Reveal the top 5 cards. Again, card checking. Stitched Mangler, a zombie horror. Sengir Vampire. I think we saw this in the Amonkhet one as well. Zulaport Cutthroat. Mind Rot. Target player discards 2 cards. Walking Corpse. It's a simple zombie. Bone Splinters. I think we've seen this before as well. Vampire Envoy. Crow of Dark Tidings. And if you hear music, that's my neighbors. Deadweight. Enchantment Aura. We saw this before. Macabre Waltz. Sorcery. Return up to 2 target creatures from your graveyard to your hand, then discard this card. Then discard a card. Shamble back. Exile target creature card from graveyard. Put a 2/2 black zombie creature onto the battlefield. You gain 2 life. Ooh, very nice. Needs to go into this stack. Cone of Flame. Cone of Flame deals 1 damage per target to target creature or player. Ooh! This needs to go in. Lightning Axe. Borderland Marauder. Human Warrior. Some of these, you know, you would say they can't really fit in, so you wouldn't use them, but hey. Cinder Hellion. Expedite. Again, we saw this already. Ember Eye Wolf. That's, of course, pure Innistrad. Magmatic Chasm. Yeah. Sanguinary Mage. I think I've seen this before. Voldaren Duelist. The Voldarens also, of course, make an appearance later. Incremental Growth. That's a very nice card that will go in for green. Pack Guardian. Ooh, Wolf Spirit. Very nice. Has to go in there. Oaken Form. I believe I've seen this before. Lifespring Druid. Oran Reef Invoker. Plummet. We saw this before in this very shape and form. Loam Lava. Ugh. It'll go in because she loves insects. Tajura Path Warden. Rabid Bite. Very nice. That's very Innistrad. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So that's not even as part of a... It wouldn't work on Indestructibles, but it's not part of the actual combat step. Quilled Wolf. Chitinous Cloak. It's an artifact equipment. Very nice. Bonesaw. Very nice. Would work as well. Hedron Crawler. I wouldn't put in because that's too out there. Explosive Apparatus. And an Evolving Wilds in a really beautiful version, which I'm just going to put into my... that's going to go into my collection because I don't have this version of Evolving Wilds. And now, this Unruly Mob simply goes into the doubles. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take, and because we only have 17 minutes left, I thought I'd completely done it, but we're going to start with the Innistrad boosters. Oh, and here's the Stern Constable again. Seen him before. Nagging Thoughts. We haven't seen this one before. Chaplain's Blessing. You gain 5 life. Whoa. Drownyard Explorers. No, we haven't seen this before. Thornhide Wolves. I think that's also new. Murderous Compulsion. Destroy target tapped creature. Madness. If you discard this card, discard it into exile. When you do, cast it for its madness cost or put it into your graveyard. Okay. Ember Eye Wolf. We've seen it before. Equestrian Skill. It's an enchantment for a creature. And the enchanted creature gets +3/+3. And if it's a human, it has trample. Stromkirk Mentor. Vampire Soldier. Haunted Cloak. Equipped creature has vigilance, trample, and haste. Okay, that's something you want to party with. Geistblast. Call the Bloodline. That's interesting because there's another card in the most recent one that's called Cull the Bloodline. You pay 1/1 and then you pay of any color and discard a card. Put a 1/1 black vampire knight creature token with lifelink onto the battlefield. Only once each turn. Okay, very nice. And it's an enchantment, so it means it stays. Traverse the Ulvenwald. It's a rare one. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Delirium. If there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, instead, search your library for a creature or land, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. Convicted Killer. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast, transform Convicted Killer. Oh, it's one of the... Oh! Okay, even back then they had the double cards. Branded Howler. Very nice. You can mark this card to represent a double-faced card in your library. Okay, that's nice. And then we've got a clue token. Cool. Okay. Okay, I get it. I know what this is. This goes to the side because we really don't need it, but that's good. So we're going to put it here. So that was the first booster. Let's take a look at the next. Ghostly Wings. Inspiring Captain. Deny Existence. Counter target creature spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Okay, so whatever you cast, they can actually just say no, because that's what blue does. They say no. Drownyard Explorers, we saw those before. Quilled Wolf, we've seen this as well. Merciless Resolve, it's an instant. As an additional cost to cast Merciless Resolve, sacrifice a creature or land, draw 2 cards. That's not a card that I would put anywhere, and I wouldn't be using it either. Hulking Devil. 5/2. Definitely goes in. Thornhide Wolves, we saw these before. Murderous Compulsion as well. Dissension in the Ranks, we haven't seen so far. Liliana's target blocking creature fights another target blocking creature. What? It's an instant. A target blocking creature fights another target blocking creature. Okay, I'll have to think about that. Liliana's Indignation. Sorcery. Put the top X cards of your library into your graveyard, so you basically have to pay the X for this. Target player loses 2 life for each creature card put into your graveyard this way. Ooh! Morkrud Necropod. Slug Horror. Corrupted Graphstone artifact. It's neutral. Corrupted Graphstone enters the battlefield tapped. Choose a color of a card in your graveyard. Add 1 mana. Ooh, very nice. Kindly Stranger. Delirium. Transform Kindly Stranger. Activate this ability only if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. And she transforms into Demon Possessed Witch. Ooh. And we've got another clue token, and this is again this stone thing that we were talking about. So it's that. Goes over here. And then the last 2, Battle for Zendikar. Reclaiming Vines. Salvage Drone. So basically this is Phyrexians. Angelic Gift. Lava Step Raider. Scour from Existence. Exile target permanent. You have to pay 7. It's neutral, but you know, it gets rid of it. Grave Birthing. Brood Hunter Worm. Wurm, actually. Spell Shrivel. Complete Disregard. Devoid. Exile target creature with power 3 or less. Fire Mantle Mage. Jedi Offshoot. I'll put this in because it gives life to the green player. Carrier Thrall. We've seen this before. Gruesome Slaughter. Ooh, we've got a foil. An Eldrazi Drone. Very nice. And we've got a full art land. Very nice. This goes into my land collection. And we've got a plant token. And now, the last one. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't open, won't open. Doesn't want to play. Gone now. Come on. Here we are. Clutch of Currents. I mean, I'm not a fan of Eldrazi, and I really have to say that the art gives me the creeps, but that's what it should do. It should make you uncomfortable. Culling Drone. So the art is beautiful. It's just not my thing. Lava Step Raider. I would also not play Phyrexia. Fortified Rampart. Creature Wall Defender. That definitely goes in because that would work anywhere. Hedron Blade. Not so much. Bone Splinters. We've seen this before. Unnatural Aggression. Again, the art is beautiful. Sandstone Bridge. Enters the battlefield tapped. It's a land, so it goes here. Cloud Manta. We've seen this before. Scour from Existence. We've seen this before. Grove Tender Druids. That will go in as well. Rolling Thunder. Rolling Thunder deals X damage divided as you choose among any numbers of target creatures and or players. Retreat to Valakut. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, under your control choose one. Target creature gets +2/+0. Target creature can't block this turn. Defiant Bloodlord. Creature vampire flying. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Very nice. We've got a full color forest and we've got an emblem. Kiora. So that's the unboxing of the Deck Builders Toolkit for Shadows over Innistrad. As I've said, what we're working on is a cube for Innistrad, and I've now got plenty of cards that I can add, especially in the colors that I don't have enough, namely white, green and blue. And that's all for today, and I will keep doing these, and I hope you enjoy them. I hope you enjoy my musings, and talk to you soon. Bye.